Excellent. All right. Well, David, thanks again for having us. My name is Dillon Rosso. I'm the co-founder of PeakBot, the easy-to-use household name for automated trading. I'm joined here by my co-founder, Ben Colabella. Ben, hello. We'll be introducing ourselves here in just a minute. As you can see on screen here, we're here to talk to you about automated trading for the retail trader, how we utilize AI and machine learning in our strategies to enhance our strategies and returns, and how our latest AI strategy, King AI, which is what we'll be focusing a lot of our time on today, which is an iron condor strategy on SPX, and how it's returned 68% cash on cash ROI in just the last 26 days, winning 23 of 25 trades. So we're going to talk about how our King AI bot has transformed our 1DTE SPX trading here with PeakBot. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to keep moving along here. Just to briefly introduce myself, as I already stated, co-founder of PeakBot here. Ben and I founded this business over 5 years ago now. We'll get a little bit more into our background story here in just a minute. My side of the business is the business, business development, partnerships, marketing, coaching, etc. All right. So there's a ton of things. We wear a ton of hats here. Ben and I both host two different live shows with our brokerage partner Tradier, the Automation Station and Man and Machine. We've been doing this for quite a while. I've coached over 500 subscribers here with PeakBot over the years, and we've had over 5,000 on the platform. Of course, I trade our automated strategies daily, as do all of our team members. And I've been doing trading myself for about 10 years now, so since 2016. So I'm going to hand it off to Ben to give an introduction on himself, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. Thanks, Dillon. Yeah, so while Dillon's handling a lot of the, call it, forward-facing parts of the business, I'm more in the background behind the scenes, working with the team, working on our strategies, working on our bots. And we'll get into the story in just a minute, like Dillon mentioned. You'll learn a little bit about my background on trading and how it came to be that I started developing these trading bots. I also co-host the Automation Station and Man and Machine with Dillon. You guys should tune into that on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. And yeah, I've been trading since 2011, so that's almost 15 years now, which is really awesome to think about. But yeah, together, Dillon and I, we started PeakBot back in 2020. Let's go ahead to that next slide there, Dillon.
Sure.
So way before 2020, when I was in college and grad school, I had taken a liking to trading. You could always remember, at least I would like to think you could always remember your first trade and how thrilling or how demoralizing it was, depending on what side you were on. I happen to have some beginner's luck for a couple of months trading, so I thought that, hey, I'm really good at this. I can I can trade and make money, and I don't need to go to school or go to work. I just trade, and that could be my career. Well, I was very quickly humbled, and through that humbling experience and many, many losses, I became obsessed with, quote unquote, beating the market. And that's a thought that still sticks with me to this day. And it's a driving fuel to what we're building here at PeakBot. So as I went through school, I had my wins, I had my losses, and one day I decided, hey, I've got to get serious about this and develop a system, a strategy, a plan if I want to actually be successful doing this. So what did that look like? Well, I started journaling my trades. I started writing down what worked, what didn't work, what sort of indicators I liked to use that I felt gave me clarity into what direction stocks were moving. I developed a pretty good system, and I started to consistently make a little bit of money over time. Nothing crazy. I wasn't swinging for the fences. I was just hitting base hits, and that's all that the plan was, to do that. Then, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, I graduated, and I started my career in one of the big four accounting firms. And anybody that's familiar with big four accounting, once you're working there, you don't really have time to do anything else. I started my career out in audit, and not only do Big Four accounting firms have restrictions on what you can trade? But like I said, you're busy throughout the day. You can't stick to, and I couldn't stick to the strategies that I had previously developed. So I found myself wanting to continue to trade, but making some really poor decisions because I couldn't follow the rules that I had set in place. So I started losing, and I started losing to the point where I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way I could still be involved in the market and work my 9 to 5. Dillon and I would joke, like, how could somebody say that the market is built for retail traders if it's only open from 9:30 to 4? Obviously, there's extended hours now, but the market is open from 9:30 to 4. That's when everybody is at work. So we thought there has to be a better way. Then in 2020, COVID hits. There's nothing else to do. And I'd been toying around with the idea of, hey, I kind of want to build a training bot. Well, COVID's here, nothing else to do. Might as well sit down and teach myself how to build a trading bot. So that's what I did. I made my very first bot. And a couple months after I made my very first bot, I showed it to Dillon. I was like, Dillon, you got to come over. You got to check this out. And Dillon was working for the New York Jets at the time, selling premium suites, right, Dillon?
That's right. Yep.
So selling premium suites. And then, of course, COVID hits, no more suites to sell. We're kind of twiddling our thumbs thinking, okay, well, what's next? What are we going to do? So I invite Dillon over. I'm like, hey, you got to take a look at this. So we sit down, we watch a trade get placed automatically, and then we watch the trade exit automatically. And we're like, whoa. Dillon's like, whoa, we got to tell people about this. Like, if this is consistent and we can see these types of trades for the masses, like, this is going to be a game-changing tool. So from that day, that's where the concept of PeakBot began. And Dillon said, as quoted on this slide, if we make this easy and affordable, everyone will want it. And that is what brought us to PeakBot. And that was back in 2020. We stayed in a beta phase for about 2.5 years, we'll call it. Yeah, 2.5 years. And then we finally launched a commercial product in August of 2022. Yeah, so 2 years. And we've been live commercially for the past 3 years now. And man, things have changed a lot, both in the products and bots that we offer, as well as the market itself. Dillon, anything I missed on the inception of PeakBot?
No, man, you pretty much nailed it. And not our first time telling that story. And it's fun to relive it every time, truthfully. And time is flying when you're having fun and you're trading with bots. So no, you nailed it, Ben. I'll tell you, a lot has changed. Unfortunately, there's one constant, one thing that has not changed. And that's the problem here and why we're talking about automated trading. The sad fact is that 90% of retail traders fail. Well, that has always been the case, and maybe it's even getting worse because this market is getting trickier and trickier to trade in. But those are the stats, right? 9 out of 10 traders can fail to even get to zero, right? Returning a negative return. And they give up, most of them, right? So as 26 million US retail traders losing because they lack the time, the strategy, and the discipline, right? As Ben mentioned earlier, we're all busy. If we're fortunate enough to not have to work one job or 2 jobs, do you want to stare at a chart all day? And are you good enough? You know what I mean? So these are the things that are obvious to everyone, and probably why you're on an event like this one today. Strategy's tough, right? Having a winning strategy, even pro traders struggle to find the edge in ever-changing markets. And discipline. All right, there's a reason why Wall Street and hedge funds have been automating for decades. Okay, the retail traders, us, we're the last ones in on the invite here for algo trading and automated hands-free execution. So that's what we're providing to solve this problem. All right, so fully automated trading technology. We give you probability-based strategies, risk-defined strategies. We know what our max loss is. We know what the upside is going into every single trade. We're option selling. That's our side. We're option sellers here. We collect premium by selling credit. and we're taking the emotions out of it. All right. No fear, no greed, no should I exit this trade now? No, should I even turn this strategy on? And all handled for you. Okay. So we're going to get into that a little bit more here today. Let me just keep on moving here. So just a little bit more information. If you've attended events like this, maybe you stumbled into other algo providers, I'll tell you, there's a ton in crypto and forex and everything, but there's not many people doing it right here in the US for equities and options. We truly do position ourselves as a leader in this space, and it's because we've been doing it for a while. We've automated over $1 billion in capital for our retail traders. We've had over 5,000 traders on the platform over the last 3+ years. 7-day customer support, that's our thing. We pride ourselves on being available. Nobody's available in this space. We make sure that we are with live agents here in the US. And we package all of our automated strategies together. We're going to focus on one today, but please know that with PeakBot, you're getting access to 5 strategies right now. And as more come in, you continuously gain access to those strategies without anything additional needed. And as of the last year, we've started to really utilize machine learning and AI into our strategies, back testing them, building them, using it to determine the execution of these trades. And we're doing it the right way. We're not cutting corners. Okay. We are official commercial developers with each of the brokers you can see on screen here: Charles Schwab, Tasty Trade, Tradeer, Public, and E-Trade coming soon. Ben, I don't know if you're getting a little reverb. If there's an echo, anybody, please feel free to let me know. But we've really built a brand here over the last 5 years. We are truly reliable. We change with the times. Okay. These strategies have a shelf life. All right. Market conditions are ever changing, and your strategies need to be ever changing. And so we're always doing that. We're fully transparent. We'll show you results tonight from our newest today from our newest strategy. But we share every single trade result on our website. And the nice thing is, for the majority of our strategies, we're all on the same team. All right. If you're taking a trade, we're taking the trade. All right. And we're all automating together. So those are a few things that really separate PeakBot here from the other algo providers in the industry. Ben, I'm going to hand it over to you in just a second. I'm going to introduce just the very high level of our strategies here. And then, Ben, I'll give it to you to focus on King AI. So with PeakBot's automated suite of strategies, you see 4 on screen here. There's actually a 5th, King Condor, as well. But all of these strategies are built to complement each other. They really build a nice, diverse portfolio. Okay. We have BenBot. I'm going to just spend maybe 10 seconds on each of these, and then we'll get into King AI. And know that if you do have interest in any of our other automated strategies, we'll let you know at the end how you can schedule time with our team. Also, to mention, we do have some great giveaways. So please hang tight. We got 2 great offers here at the end. We want to make sure you guys get a chance to grab. So anyway, BenBot. Ben, we're not being shy about it. You know, that's Ben. Ben's like, we gotta
That
change the name. I'm like, you can't. It's too late.
that name was never supposed to make it into production.
Well, hey, you know what? It keeps you accountable. I love it. It's a daily covered call strategy on IWM. For those who are familiar, IWM is the Russell 2000 ETF, and moves like the market. Okay, not one for one, but that's kind of the idea here. It's a bullish strategy. It's selling an at the money covered call daily. Trades pretty much every day, but has entry criteria, just like all of our bots. Let me just say this quickly. We take the decisions out of your hand. Ben, I don't know if we had a lot of time for this, but maybe we spend 5 minutes, not even 2 minutes at any point here in the next whatever, to show the platform.
Yeah,
I think we should
definitely.
show how simple the platform is. Um,
Let's talk about King AI because I'm sure everybody's excited to hear about an AI powered bot. And then with whatever time we've got left, let's talk more about BenBot. Let's give a demo of the platform. But
Beautiful.
let's play on that.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, BenBot, we might get into that a little bit later, but that's our it's kind of our anchor. We like to build our portfolios around the strategy. It's got the daily action. It's a bullish strategy. It's trading a market type strategy, market type stock rather. And then we have Shorbo. Okay, so quite a different strategy, a little less investment style, a little more trading style. This is an orb strategy for anybody who's familiar with opening range breakouts. This trades SPX, also 0 DTE. Important to note right now that if you're seeing these same day trades, don't worry if you don't have the $25,000. You're not going to be making day trades or breaking the pattern day trading rule, rather, with our strategies, because our contracts are set to expire for the most part. All right. So you're not having to worry about anything there if you don't have 25K in your account. Anyway, Shorebo, great strategy based on daily momentum, okay, and trend direction early in the morning. If there is one, this bot detects that by a range breakout and enters either a put credit spread or a call credit spread. Ben will talk about King AI here in a minute. And Wheel is our tried and true strategy, our first ever automated option strategy. Been, I think, live now for 3 years. This one's a little different. You have a watch list that you can select from, but it trades weekly credit spreads on stocks that you're comfortable owning and that you want to collect premium on week to week. So fantastic strategy, my favorite right now. And it's tough between that and King AI. But Ben, how about I hand it to you to break down King AI just a bit more here? Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So I'm going to go over the basics of this bot right now, the basics of this strategy, and talk about how AI is incorporated into it. After I give, I think it's 2 slides here, after I give the overall summary, we're going to hop into a segment that Dillon and I like to do on these types of things called Trader Trivia, where we're going to ask a question. If you answer that question correctly, we're going to send you a link to where you can try PeakBot for free for 1 month. So hang tight. We'll get there in just a second, but we're going to cover that. And then after Trader Trivia, we're going to look at some real life trade examples from King AI, so that way you can get a better understanding of what this bot is doing for you while you're off working at the golf course, making some lunch, whatever it is that you might have to do throughout your daily routine. So at its core, King AI, this is a 1 DTE, 1 day to expiration iron condor strategy. I'm not going to get into all of the details of what 1 DTE or iron condor means. If you have questions about that, feel free to ask questions in the chat. If Dillon's talking, I'll be answering. If I'm talking, Dillon will be answering the chat. This is our highest earning PeakBot strategy, and that's including back tested and live data. We'll go over the live data in just a minute. I think that might be on the next slide. But it is a short-term trading strategy. Again, 1 DTE. So we're in a trade today, we're out tomorrow. And again, tomorrow, out the next day. It's possible that this bot does not trade every single day. There are some criteria built in, which we'll go over in the next slide, that could prevent us from entering. But in order to trade this, you need $2,000 of cash per unit at least. And at PeakBot, we actually like to buffer a total of $10,000 per unit. Now, what does per unit mean? That just means one iron condor. The reason why we have these two different numbers is because the 2,000 is essentially what you need to have 2 open iron condors at the same time, because we're trading $10 wide credit spreads, wings on each side. So you do need that cash. Now, the buffer we have set aside in our account, our total investment, if you will, is $10,000. So that way we can withstand any drawdowns. Dillon and I aren't going to sit up here and tell you that this strategy never loses. It loses. And when it loses, it hurts, right? Every strategy will lose. If any bot provider comes to you and says, hey, our bots don't lose, run in the other direction.
Right.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is. We've been at this a long time now, considering the overall age of the bot market for retail traders. So 2,000 is needed, 10,000 is preferred. Trades will not, the bot will not trade if criteria is not met. It can enter trades on any day, except for, as we'll talk about, some economic events, maybe political events, so on and so forth. So how do we win? How does an iron condor win, right? The price of SPX, and again, this is an SPX only strategy. The price of SPX has to finish on the day of expiration between your 2 sold strike prices. So within the body of the iron condor. So between the sold put, above the sold put, and below the sold call. If you're interested to just skip ahead and maybe not listen as much to what we're talking about right now and just go look at the results, you could go to peakbot.com/King AI results, and you'll be sent to a Google Sheet that has all of the results here, where you'll find roughly a 70.5% average annualized return. And that averages out to about a 60 or 6.1% average monthly return. And that's from back-tested data going all the way back until the beginning of 2016. So we've got just about 10 years worth of back-test data here available. And thanks
I
for
sent
putting
it in
that
the
in the
chat.
chat, guys. Great idea. And this ROI is based off of that $10,000 portfolio buffer number that we prefer to have in our account. Remember to withstand drawdowns here. So let's go to the next slide so we can learn a little bit more about what this strategy is doing. So like I said, it's a $10 wide spread on each side. So the wings of the condor are going to be 10 wide, meaning our maximum exposure is going to be that $10 less the amount of credit you earn upon entry. Now, this is where AI kicks in. We do have a version of this bot that will always trade the 20 delta. That's called King Condor. Now, what we noticed with King Condor were a couple of different things. One of them being, hey, sometimes we get wicked out and our strikes are like really close to the money and on days that they potentially shouldn't be. It would be nice to adjust those strike prices. So we decided to build out an AI machine learning model. It is learning on itself every day. So every day that a trade is placed, that data is fed into this model, and the model will continue to grow on itself. Another reason why we love this, because markets are always changing. So this model is changing with the market. But the model will determine what the most optimal delta is to place our wings at. And each side, the put credit spread and the call credit spread, are independent of each other. So it could be that the model says, hey, for today, 10 delta for the put credit spread, 20 delta for the call credit spread, right? It's all based on a certain confidence level that the model spits out. And then the bot makes a decision based on that, what strike prices to place the trade at. Now, the model could also come back and say, hey, for the call side, even the 10 delta is not going to be great. Maybe today it's not even worth taking a trade. And if that's the case on either the call side or the put side, the bot just won't trade. And that's one of the great things about using this model. And it has been extremely accurate. As you can see on the right-hand side, we've got a 95% win rate over the last 10 years from using this strategy. The entry time is after 3 p.m. Eastern. It is a randomized entry time. You'll be in before 3:30 on most days. But the target is after 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get into the Iron Condor, and then we are going to let that trade expire. Now, with King Condor, again, our variation of this that always trades the 20 delta, there are stop losses built in. But as I mentioned before, we noticed that a lot of the time we get wicked out of that strategy. And yes, the stop losses prevent larger losses, and that strategy is good for its own reason. But we wanted to make a strategy where we don't get wicked out. And really, the one way to do that is, hey, just don't have a stop loss. Let that credit spread be the stop loss. Mm-hmm. And let's rely on this machine learning model, which, by the way, is training itself and trains itself and analyzes over 300 different data points in the market right before entry. It takes about a little over 1 second to analyze all those data points and spit out a delta decision and a trade or no trade decision. On top of that, the bot just won't trade with any VIX parameters that you see on screen. So if VIX is below 1195 or if it's above 2995, the bot just won't trade. If VIX moves up overnight over 45 cents, it won't trade. Now, what happens when the VIX moves up? That's an increase in, call it fear in the market, increase in volatility, right? When there's an increase in uncertainty, when there's an increase in volatility, not great for Iron Condor strategy. So we want to avoid that. Perfect example, last night into today. Huge gap down. When the market goes down, generally you see VIX go up. There's a big gap up in VIX overnight. The King Condor will not be placing a trade today, will not be entering a trade for today going into tomorrow. Further, we'll sit out on certain economic events. FOMC, we don't want to trade that.
No.
If we know that President Trump is meeting with a high profile foreign leader, we don't want to trade during that. We don't know what's going to come out of those conversations. In fact, if we look at our results, which we'll do in just a minute, I'm sure, the most recent loss for the King AI bot was on, what was it, October 9th. That's actually a trade example that we will look at. I'd like to think the bot could have, should have, would have won that day if President Trump did not talk about increasing China's tariffs to 100%. Yeah, so one of the more recent losses on the strategy happened on that day. Sucks when that happens, but sometimes there are unforeseeable events that take place. Trump announcing 100% tariffs on China was one of those events. Back to the results real quick, Dillon.
Yep. Sorry. Let me get the slide back up here. Apologies. And we are rocking.
Cool. All right. So just to cover the high level stats, we talked about annualized return, monthly return that's based off of the $10,000 needed, 95% win rate. We'll pull up that chart again in a little bit, Dillon, that you had up, and we'll just scroll through all the trades so everybody can see it. But again, in the chat here, peakbot.com/King AI results, and you can see all of the trades that have been taken over this time period. The average win works out to be about $185. The average loss, about $775, right? So like I said, the losses hurt, but we're winning quite a bit. The max drawdown during this period is 14.9%. So if you go back to, I think it was the transition from 2023 to 2024, I think the very last trading day of 23 into the first trading day of 24, it was 2 losses in a row. And those 2 losses in a row equated to about a 14.9% drawdown based on that $10,000 of capital set aside. That's the worst it's ever been in the last 10 years.
$1,500.
Yeah, $1,500. I mean, listen, will you potentially subscribe to this bot and lose the very first day? Yeah, it's going to happen to somebody.
It's a 1 in 20 chance. 1 in 20, roughly.
Yeah, right, exactly. But, look at the past data, look at what the bot has done, and it'll take a couple of days to recover from that, but the bot always bounces back. The average number of trades per month is 12. Now, October was particularly active.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of trading in October. The VIX parameters did not come into play as much in October. So there will be some months where you just trade a lot. There will be some months where you barely trade at all. I think March and April of this last year, not too many trades. VIX was too high and VIX was gapping up and there just weren't trades. So that just about covers the overall basics of the strategy. Again, AI is built in here to help us determine the delta at which we sell our strikes to form our iron condor. And that's beneficial because, as the strikes get tighter, we'll collect more premium. As strikes loosen up a little bit, we're giving ourselves more wiggle room and more of an opportunity to win these trades. And I don't know about you, Dillon, but I don't like being the one making that decision all the time. I'd rather have a model that can analyze 300 different data points within a second, do it for me.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely preferred. I've tried it myself. I've tried it semi-automated. I've tried it automated with other strategies. And no, this is the way to do it. Ben, to round off here, trade limits, when you see 2 units, our strategies, we do with all of our strategies provide a cap to how many units you can trade. That's the responsible thing to do. And right now, on especially a newer strategy, as we've talked about here, still in beta right now, but a lot of traders on it and a lot of traders loving it, 2 units. Now, if you wanted more, you could let us know and we can provide you a custom subscription. No worries. But 2 units is the cap for most of our strategies on PeakBot with one exception there. So Ben, anything else here before we move on into, I'll walk us into trader trivia. And then
Cool.
we'll give a chart, a visual example of how we win with King AI after that. And then we'll talk about how you get access to King AI beta. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And for free. And how you can potentially earn 50% off our subscriptions. All right. So, Ben, normally in our live shows, we got like live music going on in the background right now. So,
Yeah, no music today. You could sing for us. You want to
we
sing
could
for
bring
us?
something. We could bring something. All right. So, Ben, I'll run this. Normally you do on the live show, but I'll give you a break here. Feel free to jump in if you want.
Okay.
So we do this on the Trader Hub twice a week. We do Trader Trivia where we hand out a free month of PeakBot if you get this answer correct. Okay. You're going to email your answer right now. Okay. And Ben, question in the chat. Great time to answer it.
Let's see it.
So about Iron Condor. So while we're getting started here, okay, please email the answer that you believe is correct to experience@peakbot.com. All right. When you do that, if you get your answer correct, we will be reaching back out with your 1 free month promo code. All right. For you to get signed up. So the question is, and by the way, the did you know over there, just for context, we're going to do a fun fact while we're giving you time for the trader trivia. I realize that might look a little silly. Okay. Trader trivia. The question is, when did the New York Stock Exchange first allow computers to help with trading orders? Is it A, 1955, B, 1965, C, 1971, and D, 1976? So again, when did the New York Stock Exchange first allow computers to help with trading orders? Very good question, very topical question for us to be asking here. So I'll give you guys a few minutes. When I say a few minutes, probably like a minute and a half. All right, maybe more. We'll see. How are we doing on time? I guess we're okay. Um, Ben, in this time, I was going to think about asking you just to kill a minute here,
Yeah, let's do
just
it.
quickly. We're going to get to the did you know, but I want to know what you had for lunch.
I was going to answer what an iron condor is, but I can tell you what I had for
Oh my
lunch.
God. Okay. How about you do both?
I had a ground turkey taco bowl,
Nice.
and it was
Good for
really
you.
delicious.
Okay, cool. Now, you're right. Answer what an iron condor is at a high level. People, email your answers to experience@peakbot.com. We're going to come back and hit you with a fun fact. But Ben, go for it.
So, an iron condor, it's four different options contracts, right? So, at the money is where the current price of the underlying is. So let's just say, for example's sake, it's $100. So we're trading stock X at $100, and we want it to form an iron condor on stock X. We would sell a call that is out of the money, so higher than the current stock price, and then we would buy a call right above that. In the case of SPX, we're forming a $10 wide spread. Um, so we set up our call spread above where the money's at, and then we set up a put spread below where the money's at. So in the case of our example, let's say, and this is a good visual of it. Yeah, thank you, Dillon. And we'll get into visualizing the definition a bit more. But it's two credit spreads, four contracts total. You end up with an overall credit because we're selling this iron condor. We're on the short side of it, so we want price to stay where it is. And I think in its very basic definition, that's what it is. It's four contracts, two credit spreads. Both credit spreads are out of the money, and we want them both to stay out of the money. Dylan,
Fantastic.
let's flip back to that fun fact, but I think to go over the slides, you're giving away
I
the
know. I
answer.
want to go fast. I want to go
All right.
fast. Or I
All
can
right.
take the screen down, but that's less fun. Can I just go fast?
Just go fast.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
So if you haven't emailed us to experience@peakbot.com, you're too slow. Too bad. And if you put it in the chat, I hope you also emailed us. All right. So quickly, fun fact. I'm just going to read did you know from 1886 to 1959, it's a long time. Coca-Cola cost just 5 cents a bottle for more than 70 years. Company kept the price locked in because of a quirky business decision. Two lawyers bought the exclusive rights and forever for a fixed fee. Okay, so to protect that deal, Coca-Cola signed advertising contracts promising 5 cents a bottle, which made it almost impossible to raise prices without breaking the marketing promise savagery. This unusual mix of legal and branding strategy became one of the longest price freezes in U.S. business history.
That's pretty
That is,
crazy.
yeah, it's a fun
Expensive
one.
in 1886, cheap in 1959.
Very, very much so. What do you think a bottle of Coke costs today? A
Bottle of
singular bottle of Coke at a reasonable establishment, call it a grocery store, not like a pharmacy or something or a concession stand.
like a 16-ounce bottle of Coke.
Do you think that's what they were selling here, or was this just a little
No, it's probably like
soda
those
pop?
glass bottles. It's probably
Yeah,
like a
that's what I'm
glass
thinking. So
bottle, 12
think about a
ounces,
can of
probably.
Diet Coke, dollar
Yeah,
fifty by itself, probably.
no, probably $2 now
You think so? Yeah, it's definitely $2,
by
maybe and some
itself
change
for sure.
in one of
But
those
you can get like a two
refrigerators.
liter for like $2.
Yeah, yeah. See that? Doesn't that stink?
Yeah,
All right, let's give the people the answer. Truthfully, fun fact: we asked this question on our live show a couple weeks ago. I forget the answer already. All right, so let's see what it is. Ben, any final guesses?
I know the answer.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. The answer is D, 1976. All right. NYSE introduced its DOT program, okay, designated order turnaround system, which allowed computers to get in the game and start automatically placing some trades for the first time ever, sped up execution, reduced manual errors, and marked one of the earliest steps toward today's electronic trading systems, in which we're here carrying the torch. All right. Continuing to improve automated trading, now bridging the gap here for the retail trader. So, Ben, you good to move on here? I know you started to give a visual example. Ben, why don't I just give a very high level recap and
Yeah, do
then
it.
dive in?
Yeah, this is a real trade too. So go for it.
Yep, real trade as of late, and we'll go pull up the results here after we take a look at these two. But this was a $220 win per unit. Again, you can do 2 units on PeakBot. This was at the beginning of October, so just over a month ago. All right. So what we can see here is these purple horizontal lines are representing the sold strike prices. Okay. So we have our sold call and our sold put, which means this is really what we're trying to stay within. Okay, that's when we profit. If SPX, if the contract can expire in between these two prices, we win, no questions asked. Okay, the full premium in which we collected. So in this case, that was $220. How much did you risk to earn that? Well, you put up $1,000 because it's a $10 spread. You collected $220 in premium, making your max risk $780. Okay. If this was to not go correctly and finish outside those lines in a dramatic fashion, that would be your max loss scenario. Okay. That only happens roughly 5 to 10% of the time, generally speaking, with what we're seeing with this strategy. So as we mentioned, right around between 3:30, it will enter. All right. In this example, it was right around 3:15, which was this bar here. Now that's going to hold through to the end of the next day. That's 1 DTE. So you can see here, this was the open of the next day, had some action, but for the most part, just floating around right in between our prices. Market closes that day on 10-2, we win $220. Not even, we didn't even really sniff any trouble, right? That's what we love to see with this strategy. What's not shown here is the $10 wings, okay, or legs of these condors. So in this situation, we would have had a bought put at 620, okay, $10 below it. And in this situation, we would have had a bought call at 760 here. So there are not, although there aren't lines there, that is what's representing your defined risk on this trade, okay, with each leg individually. So, Ben, why don't I give it over to you to walk through another example of when things don't go so well?
Yeah, so this was that day that we were talking about previously, October 9th into October 10th. And it was the day of October 10th that we see those three big red bars in the middle. And that came after, again, Donald Trump had announced or threatened 100% tariff increase on China. Unfortunately, those types of events are unforeseeable. You can't really bake that into an AI model, but this is how you lose. And again, we've got our strike prices on screen. Our sold call was the 67.70 strike, and the sold put was the 66.50 strike. So it's a $120 wide body on the Condor, again, with $10 wings. We needed to stay in between that $120. And I'd like to think that we would have won that day, but with those big red bars and then the bleed out for the rest of the day, we really didn't stand a chance. But because we have that $10 wide spread built in, that is our defined loss. That is our protection to further downside. If we did not have that protection, I mean, it looks like we closed the day about $100 below our sold strike. If we were not hedged, that would have potentially been, $100 loss per share times 100 shares. Like that's, we could have gotten ourselves in a lot of trouble that day if we did not hedge the position. That's why we will always be risk defined in our strategies. There will always be a maximum amount that we can lose, regardless of stop loss. And yes, some of our strategies do use a stop loss. Some of them do not use a stop loss. But the ones that do not use a stop loss will always be risk defined in this manner. So yes, this trade, not fun to take. We did recover from that in the next week, and we've even made money on top of that going forward. Since we've been live, and if we've got that results sheet, maybe now's a good time to pull up the results sheet, just to kind of scroll through and give ourselves an idea of how long things take to recover. So one thing to note on this results sheet is the green rows. They are live trades. So if we add all the live trades together, we've made about $1,300, $1,360 since we started live trading this. But let's start scrolling down the screen a little bit, Dylan. Let's just take a look at how some of these losses can stack up and how long it might take to recover. So let's just look at these two. So you lose 750. Let's say somebody started that day, and then you make it all the way until the end of June. What's the total there? And we'll just look at the bottom right side where Google Sheets kind of does
So
the
if we
math
just
for you.
highlight this,
Highlight that.
We're actually still up 755,
Still
right?
up. Okay,
Yeah.
so scroll down. Let's find the next cluster of losses.
See if this does it. That's still gaining. It took us a while to find this, which is a good thing, right? Here's two that are close. That's not going to do it either. There's some big wins in between it. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. So there's a what you can call what, Ben? So $1,200 drawdown here.
Yep. Right. And then slowly scroll up from that, or drag your mouse up from that to see how long it took to recover, how many days it took to recover from that.
So let's see now. So
go back down. I think it was one more. Yeah. So your break even was at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days later.
Yep.
That's not terrible.
Come
6
on.
trading days. I'll caveat with 6 trading days. Keep going, because I thought that the double loss or the losses back to back were on the switch from 2023 to 2024.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, you're right.
Wow, it's 21. It was 21 to 22. Yeah, that was it. Okay.
Yep. So 2 days in a row. All right. So down 1485. That was that 14.9 max drawdown. This is it right here. This is the worst
so
trade.
How long did it take to recover from that?
Right here.
Okay.
So another, 8 trades.
Eight trading days. Now, date-wise, it took about a month, a little over a month. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 6 trading days. That's really not that bad. In my opinion, it's not that bad.
I don't want anybody's opinion who says it's not bad or says it is, rather. So, Ben, truthfully, here's where my interest is. We can talk back tests all day. These people here attending these have seen a lot of good back tests, right? Attending this event, I'm sure. Let's talk about what it's really done. All right. And I'm going to come back here to our slides. All right. So give me one second. All right. So these are the live results. Okay, just to make it easier for you to look at. Since we launched it on 9/17, September 17th of this year, it's taken 25 trades, 23 of which have won. Okay, win rate makes that 92%. Our cash on cash return. Okay, we say $2,000 cash needed because it's a $10 spread, which means $1,000, and you could be in today's and tomorrow's trade at the same time. So that's why we say $2,000 is how much cash is needed to operate this strategy on a day-to-day basis. The cash on cash return in that time, 68%. An incredible return, real live results by us and our traders. And the ROI in that time, as we saw and already covered, over $1,300. Okay, so again, you're going to see on our sites when you see our annualized returns and our monthly returns, it's going to be based on that $10,000 portfolio budget. Okay, that portfolio buffer that we put there to, again, prevent from, larger drawdowns. Okay, so this is what it's been doing. And I guess, Ben, I think it would be helpful if we just kind of map out what's possible. Okay. Best case, worst case, middle of the road. So we already discussed these numbers, but just as a reminder, the average win, if we can stay in between our strike prices, is $185. You can look yourself for the live trades. Okay. That's based off of the 10 years of back tested data. You can go and see what that average win is on the last 25 trades if you'd like. Middle of the road, okay? So that means we finished outside, okay, of our profit zone, aka slightly in the money, all right? And depending upon how far in the money you are on one side or the other of the condor will determine how much your loss is. So for every penny out of the money you are, that's $1 out of your pocket, okay? And the worst case scenario, we just talked about it pretty much, that 885 situation where you're going to get your $1,000 in risk. You're going to collect about $150 in premium. All depends. Okay. And you get wiped out because Trump announces tariffs on China. Okay. I'm not playing the blame game. That's too easy, but it does happen. And we've lost on tariffs quite a few times. So if anybody has a heads up that those are coming, tell us. All right. Worst case scenario, I just talked about that. So Ben, I'll just wrap us here and then I'll hand it back over to you to talk a little bit more about our partners. I know we're getting tight on time here. And David, feel free to cut us if we should be leaving some time for questions or any other buffer time because we can get to our offer here. But so feel free to jump in. But you're always in control. We're being repetitive here because it's important. There's so many bad algos out there, okay, that are going to make your YOLO trades that you're not even going to know what's happening. So we have risk-defined trades. You know what that is as long as you know what you're trading. No naked options. Our bots are only going to trade if the criteria is met. So you're not having to select when to automate this, when I should trade it, what stock to trade it on. All you're deciding is, do I trade this? What do I want to automate? What strategy and how much? Okay. The beautiful thing here is you can manually intervene at any time. Again, we're partnered with the major US regulated brokers here. So you can log in your brokerage account. If we're in a King AI position and we're at 80% profit and you want to take it because you don't want to wait out the last 2 hours, go for it. Take it. Peakbot's going to pick up where you left off. That's not a problem at all. All right. And from a security standpoint, we take that incredibly seriously. We wouldn't have a business if we weren't secure. Peakbot is only ever getting API access, which means just the ability to buy and to send buy and sell signals on your behalf to your broker to execute the trade for you. So again, we don't cut corners here at Peakbot. We've been doing this the right way the whole time. So very important for us to get that across. Ben, I'm going to hand it over to you to talk a little bit more about what else Peakbot does. And then we're getting to our offer.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dillon, because we've only got a few minutes left here. What if I shared my screen real quick and you get the offer slide up and ready to go? I'll give a quick demo from one of our demo accounts here, and
Perfect.
then we'll switch over to the offer screen and go over that. So let's go ahead, and I've got my Peakbot dashboard pulled up here. So as soon as you create your account, you're going to be presented with what you see on screen here, your Peakbot dashboard. Now the chart here is going to show you the results, both back tested and real, for all of our bots. So we've got King AI. We can go over to BenBot, for example. We can go to King Condor, and we can see how these bots have performed over time, and we can even narrow down. So like King AI, let's say I wanted to know, okay, how's it done in the past month? Well, here's how we've done in the past month. It looks like with those 2 losses, we're actually right at break even. So how has it done over the past quarter? Okay, well, that paints a much nicer picture, right? If I'm going to be in this and trade this, I'm gonna sit it out. And hey, if I waited it out for a full quarter, I would have made $4,000 doing so, right? So it's a mix of knowing what you want to trade and letting the strategies play out. Now, as soon as you do create your account, you will integrate your broker. We're integrated with Schwab, that's Thinkorswim, Tradier, and Tasty Trade. We have E-Trade coming soon, and we have Public coming soon. Once you integrate with your broker, very easy to get a bot set up. You're just going to go here, you're going to click Add New Stock. You're going to select the bot that you want to activate. I'll select King AI here. You select the ticker. Now with King AI, only SPX is available. As Dillon mentioned earlier, the maximum amount of units is 2 for this. So if I want to trade 2 units, I can do that. And you can see the budget increase along with it. Or I could do 1 unit. We're going to click Activate and then agree to this screen. I'm not going to agree because I already have King AI active here. Once this shows up in your automated portfolio, you can change the bot by clicking on the active icon there, or you can select this and click Edit Status. You can pause the bot, which will keep the bot in your automated portfolio. The bot just won't place any trades for you, or you can remove it completely. This won't close your position. It'll just remove it completely from the left-hand side here, so you've got a clean slate over there to work with. That's it. Seriously, that's all you have to do to get started. Everything else that we talked about is happening on the back end. You don't even need to have internet connection for this bot to run. It's all run within our cloud. And yes, we do have cloud diversity. If anybody's familiar with the AWS outage a couple of weeks ago at this point, we were well protected between Google Cloud Platform and AWS. So there's really, really no worry about uptime for this whole system. So,
Awesome.
Dillon, I'll hand it back to you. Let's get that offer up on screen.
Let's do it. So I'm going to talk to these good, fine people about what our 2 models are here. Okay, so Pro Plus, this is your all access pass to Peak Bot. Okay, this is, if you want lifetime access to all of our bots and everything else we do, this is where you're going to want to go. Okay, so that's all of our trading bots. If we bring new ones in, you're getting access. If we're putting one on the bench, you're removing access unless you ask to be grandfathered. You, of course, are able to automate with any of our integrated brokers, 7 days a week, customer support, live US agents, Discord. All right. So we have our community of Discord, live alerts. Let's say you're automating 3 of our 5 strategies and you see the alert from another one and you want to take it, go for it. Manual trade whenever you want, activate the bot if you see it's doing well. Results, community, chit chat, everything in there. Our masterclass. All right. So a full educational video vault, all right, of how we built these strategies, best practices, why this, not this, etc. All right. Educational lessons with guests from the industry and so much more. All right. So that's really hours and hours of really impactful education on options and automation. Weekly classroom. We whether it's live or recorded, we're updating weekly education sessions into that vault. Monthly check-ins, onboarding call, the whole thing. Okay, so that is PeakBot Pro Plus. Here's what we're offering today for this fantastic event. We got 2 QR codes. So if you're here and you know how to use one of these things, go for it. Okay, get your camera out, take a picture. If not, you can click on the link. On the left-hand side, we have 50% off our all access pass. Okay, so you can head on over to peakbot.com/SYN Pro. All right, peakbot.com/SYN Pro. That's 50% off your entire package, whether you go monthly or annual there. Okay. Additionally, if you're not for any reason feeling jumpy, all right, and you just want to get things started here, we have free month, okay, of access to PeakBot. and specifically our King AI strategy that's in beta, which is where there's a lot of interest right now. You can head on over to peakbot.com/synbots, okay, SYN bots, and you'll grab a free month of our strategies there. 30-day money back guarantee. All right. You must have a Tradier, Schwab, or Tasty Trade account. Those are the brokerages in which we're integrated with right now, with a few more to come. Trying to think if there's anything I missed, man.
Yeah, I think one thing to note is on that 50% off all access pass, there's an upfront fee. That is a one-time fee. Once that is paid, you just have to pay the monthly access fee for the bots. And that access fee is discounted compared to what the monthly access fee if you're just doing our Pro plan. So Pro Plus, there's Pro Plus and there's Pro. The Pro plan is basically just our bots only. You don't get access to the video educational vault. You don't get access to some Discord channels that we've got going here. You don't get access to Dillon and myself like the Pro Plus members would. And that's the main difference between the two packages. So yeah, get your feet wet, try it for a month for free, go for it. Or if you're ready to hop in, start taking automated trading seriously, that all access pass is the right play here. 50% off today. And that comes with a one-on-one onboarding. You'll talk to one of our automation experts, get your account set up, make sure everything is looking good. And then you could be automating as soon as tomorrow.
That's absolutely right. So we're going to keep this on screen for just another minute here or 30 seconds or whatever it might be. Grab the QR code, write down the link. David was kind enough to put it in the chat here for us. Okay, so you can grab both of those links for a rainy day. Hopefully it rains today. And let's keep on moving. So if you want help getting started, all right, if you want to learn more, if you want a one-on-one demo, if you want to really get kind of a full one-on-one experience, you can schedule time with our team. All right. So head on over to peakbot.com/qualify. You'll get asked a couple questions and just to make sure that you're set to be able to trade our strategies. And then you'll be able to schedule your call, your discovery call with our team. All right. Or of course, email us anytime, experience@peakbot.com. Yeah. You can catch us anytime on our live shows, as Ben mentioned earlier, Monday and Friday on the Tradier Hub. We are always available with chat support, phone support, video calls, anything and everything that you need. So automated trading is, there's a lot of noise out there and only a few platforms that are doing it really well. You're in good hands here. We're in your corner and we're going to help you along the way. And we'll tell you what's hot and we'll tell you what's not. So I know we didn't cover this earlier, but you can also head on over to our link tree. Okay. Peakbot also automates for 15 other trading communities, half of which are already launched, the other half on the way. All right. So whether it's copy trading, custom algos, automated alerts, it's all available in our marketplace. We like to call it the bot shop. So you can head on over and I'll put this in the chat as well. That's our link tree. So all of our useful links, linktree.com/use peakbot. All right. So that you can check out everything that we've got to offer. All right. So Ben, unless you think we missed anything else here, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're all set.